Hey guys, it's Katie Christ here, health and wellness coach. So again, we're going to be talking about motivation this week because motivation is key. It's everything. I really want to hound on motivation today and this week and early on at the end of this year because I know what's going to happen come January. Come January, we're all going to be feeling all types of motivation. And then February will happen. And then we'll be feeling a little bit of motivation. And then March will happen, and then April will happen. And our motivation to continue to show up on our health and wellness journey is going to falter, and it's going to ebb and flow. And so the key here is you need to understand that you don't just have motivation. Motivation, you just don't wake up one day and you're just motivated. Like right now, if you were constantly motivated, you'd be starting your health and wellness journey. You wouldn't be saying, oh, I'm just going to get through the holidays and then I'm going to start January 1st or the first weekend in January. Like if you didn't bring the motivation, if you don't constantly have motivation, you're not going to just someday wake up and have it. Like you have to, I'm here to tell you right now, you don't wake up having motivation. So if you're waiting until January 1st to start, like that's just an arbitrary day. So you've built that in. You say, January, I am motivated. You choose to be motivated. Because right now, if you're not on your wellness journey, if you're not working with me or with a coach, or if you're not consistently showing up the way that you want to be showing up, that's because you're not choosing to be motivated. And I know this is a hard thing for me to say, and I never want to be mean about this, but I talk about motivation so much, and it's the first module in my online course because I know how important it is and how totally different it can change your outlook towards wellness if you really concentrate on the personal development aspect of motivation before you just dive into the action of trying to lose weight and get into shape and go on a diet or figure out foods that are good for your specific body type. Because I think a lot of the problem with the health and wellness industry is that it's just very action oriented. And it's like, all right, do this, because you want the before and after images. That's not what gets you to consistently show up every single day. And consistency is what we want, because consistency compounds. I tell that to my clients all the time. Like you need to show up consistently, even on the days that you don't want to. And so how do you do that? You need to understand how to bring motivation to yourself every single day, even on the days you don't feel motivated. And so how do you do that? You do that by understanding how to spark motivation, sustain motivation, and then grow motivation. So I really want to start off and talk about sparking motivation. And so if you want access to my free webinar on what I taught in my online course, I have a free webinar. Just go, I'll link it actually below for you. But so to spark motivation, you need to have ambition and expectancy. And so let's start with ambition. So ambition is, what do you want? Do you want to get fit? Do you want to lose weight? What do you want for your health and wellness journey? And are you specific with it? And the key here is, and this I think a lot of people get this wrong, is because if you wake up and you're not feeling motivated, then are you looking at your ambitions and giving it attention every single day? So looking at your goals every single day, because that's where you have to be giving your ambition the attention that it deserves. Because if you're not, then you just, like, if you're not thinking about your goals every single morning, that's why you're faltering. That's why you're not showing up the way that you want, and that's why you're not seeing the transformation that you really want. So I wake up and like one of my daily practices and my daily habits is to look at my goals every single day, every day, and really understand, okay, why do I have this ambition? And asking myself, okay, what have I had scheduled today that's in alignment with the goals that I want in the next 30, 60, 90, a year from now? Like what is scheduled, and how do I need to show up so that I can schedule that in and show up and be motivated to achieve that? Because it is like, I know I preach on motivation. I don't show up every single morning like, yes, I want to work out. I'm so excited to work out. No, that's not the thing. Like I just don't wake up like that. I have to prep myself to be in that mentality. And that's the key tactic is just looking at my ambition every single day and being tactical with it. And that's why it's really helpful to have a coach. Like, I coach myself every single morning and ask myself specific questions that I know works for me to really root down my ambition and what I want and what my goals are, and looking at it. So having attention to your ambition every single day, that's really important to not only build intrinsic motivation. So again, asking yourself questions, okay, why do I want this? What is it gonna bring me? How do I need to set up my day so that I achieve the results that I want in 30, 60, 90, a year from now? So that's building up intrinsic, like, why is this important for me specifically? But then you can also ask questions that build up your extrinsic motivation. So asking, okay, if I did kind of achieve these results, what would happen for my family? How would this help my job? And actually a really great question too is, how would it harm my family? Or what would happen with my family if I didn't achieve these results, or if I didn't concentrate on my energy levels or my well-being right now? Like, what's gonna influence if I don't show up? Is another question of who is going to be impacted, either negatively or positively. So really just having that kind of habit of looking at your ambition and your goals every single morning, like, that helps sustain and spark your motivation. Because to create motivation, like, commonly I think a lot of people talk about how you have to have action. And there is truth to this, because momentum brings motivation. Like, have you ever done where, like, either you eat really healthy and then you're motivated to go work out, or you work out and you're like, okay, I actually want to eat healthy because I just worked out in the morning. So that's that one action of working out in the morning builds momentum for you, kind of focusing in on your wellness every single day. So there's this cycle and this cartwheel that just kind of keeps happening when you start with an action. But if you're struggling with that, reflection also gives that, of reflecting and building clarity. Because when you reflect, you build clarity. And then with clarity comes confidence in what you're doing. And so if you're struggling with the action aspect, which I think a lot of us do, because exercise and diet, like, those are hard things. Because we're conditioned, if we're used to not working out, or if we're used to eating a certain way, that's what our body finds normal for us. And then if we go into exercise, like, that's a stressor. And so our body doesn't want to be doing that all the time. So the easier thing right now is to think, okay, let's reflect on, what is my ambition? What is my audacious goal? And again, reflection brings clarity, and clarity brings confidence in what you're doing. So that, I really want to hound in on that, because I think this is just the one step that so many people either say it's not important, or so many people don't know to do this. Because so January 1st is an important date for many people. And I know for me, that year after year, I was like, this is the year. This is the year I'm going to get in shape. This is the year that I'm going to lose weight. But so has so many other people. And it might be you too. And you might not just be showing up consistently from January 1st to December 31st of the same year. Like, look back at 2020. Has that been you? Have you consistently shown up every single day? I'm guessing no, because there's a stat out there. It's people will make the same New Year's resolution 10 separate times without success. That's 10 years of making the same New Year's resolution. So something's missing. Something in the health and wellness industry is missing, where people are not consistently showing up. And I think it starts with this personal development aspect of really understanding, why do you want what you want? And so that's what, like, my coaching is all about. So start off with motivation. Understand how, on the days that you don't want to show up, so even like right now in December, you don't want to show up. It's the holiday season. How do you spark motivation so that you do show up? It starts with understanding your ambition. And then the second part is understanding expectancy. And so expectancy is just understanding that, like, you will get to the result that you want. And so let's say 10 times you've made the same New Year's resolution and you've not seen results that you wanted to. How do you think that's going to influence your expectancy? Probably pretty bad. Like 10 years have shown you, it's proof that you can't show up the way that you want to be showing up, or the proof that you are like, you're so lazy, or I'll never lose the weight. or I won't be that type of person that shows up and makes transformation. Like, I'm not that type of person. I'm not strict. I'm not a dieter. I don't like dieting. Like, all these things, you've been conditioned. If you've tried for 10 years, or if you're in that stat, or 5 years, or even just 2 years, you've had kind of these things that have happened that have created your expectancy of, it's not for you. It's not for you, Katie. You're not, like, even if you don't believe that on January 1st, it goes through your mind and it's conditioned, and it's a silent killer to not, you don't have the expectancy. So how do you change that? It's, again, asking these questions about yourself of what do you want, and really having an understanding of what is this gonna feel like when I get the results. And so what I do with my coaching clients is I ask them, okay, when you get whatever you want, to lose weight, to gain energy, to consistently work out, what is that gonna feel like? And really rooting that into your feelings. What are you gonna see, hear, touch, feel? I know I said that one. But it's really asking yourself these deep questions. And so I wanna also kind of go in and talk about this concept of precision questions. So precision questions is understanding, okay, when you say this, you need to get yourself out of this, and I'll say what this is. So these are kind of questions that keep you stuck. They're universal truths. They're when you make statements about, I shouldn't do this, I can't do that, or I should be doing this, or I'm supposed to be doing this. It's a very concrete, like negative perception questions. So when you're in that mindset, and this is why, like, I'm advocating for a coach, because, like, I've trained myself to understand these questions are very limited belief questions. And so when I hear those, I say, oh, I'm gonna grab that question, and let me ask you another question to really get deep at the root of this limited belief statement that you have. So for instance, if you say, I've tried all the workouts and I can't see results. So then my answer would be, you've tried it all? And see if there's, like, maybe you haven't tried all of it. Like, what isn't working? Why is everything that you've tried, why is that not working? So asking, have you tried it all? Hopefully that elicits a different response. And you're like, well, no, like, I guess I haven't tried it all, but, like, I just don't love these programs. Okay, what do you not like about this? And so you build on that, and you understand, okay, let's not just be stuck. Let's not be stuck in this limited belief. Let's create the expectancy that there is other types of programs out there for you that you can build around, and you can finally find transformation. And, like, I'm talking about this right now because I want you to understand that your inner dialogue is everything. And so what is helpful with working with a coach is that your inner dialogue becomes our own dialogue of understanding, okay, when you say this statement, what does it actually mean? And let's work on this together if this is a limited belief. So if you use statements like can't, should, shouldn't, that, I'm sorry, it's a limited belief. And so if you say, oh, I should work out all the time, or I can't go on a diet, I just can't show up, I'm a lazy I can't do this program. So those are limited beliefs. And so when that inner dialogue is showing up, like, for instance, like this morning, right now for me, I was like, I should work out, but I just can't right now. I don't have the energy. You need to know that. You need to hear that happen. And then you need to ask yourself, if you could, what would you be doing? So to get yourself out of those should, can't, could have, should have, all those questions, you need to ask yourself, if you could, what would you be doing? And, like, I know this sounds all woo-woo, but these questions are powerful, of just saying, of recognizing when you are in a stuck position, and then saying, no, if you could, what would you be doing? Or, what prevents me from following through right now? So if you want to get unstuck, if you want to spark your motivation, if you want to show up and create expectancy, you need to understand where you get stuck and where you're limited in how you're showing up, and ask yourself better questions. Like, that's really all coaching is just asking better questions to get yourself unstuck and to see the world and see your options in a different light than what you're normally used to. Another thing to think about too is if you're using verbs to describe kind of where you're currently at. So if you say, like I was just talking to a client and she said, well, I just feel lazy all the time, or I feel tired. And like these were the reasons why she wasn't consistently working out every single day. So that's a very broad sense, and that's a good excuse. It's an excuse. So then to get yourself out, when you constantly just say, like describe the position that you're in and using verbs or nouns, then ask yourself, how specifically? So I just feel tired, I'm not gonna work out. Like I just feel lazy all the time that I don't show up. How specifically do you feel lazy? Ask yourself that. And then from that, you start to kind of just get yourself out of old patterns and old behaviors towards the transformation that you want or the ambition that you want. So this is really creating expectancy, is just understanding where you get stuck, understanding what you want, what that's gonna feel like, where you get stuck, and then understanding how to self-motivate yourself to get out of it. And it's just asking better questions, communicating better with yourself, or having a coach and having that dialogue help you communicate yourself out of it. And so another thing, so I was just reading this a book by Tony Robbins, my first book by him. I've never really read kind of into his stuff, but it's pretty interesting. Definitely some stuff where you're like, it's a lot of mind things going on. But it was Unlimited Power. And so he was talking about how you should be asking how questions rather than why questions. And I started thinking about that. I was like, it makes sense to an extent. Because I think with health and wellness, how is all that's out there? How do I lose weight? How do I get skinny? How do I make a vegan casserole spaghetti thing with spaghetti squash? How do I go in intermittent fasting? And so, like, the how questions are there, but we're not doing the how. Because I think when like we're conditioned to think, okay, you should just always be asking the how, because that's going to get you the result. But I think we need to almost create like a how sandwich, a how question sandwich. And I know this sounds weird, but just stick with me. Okay, your question is, how do I lose weight? I think we need to sandwich the hows with why. Because again, I just did a video on why your why is so important with your health and wellness journey. Because I think we need to know what our why is before we go into the how. Because the health and wellness industry is like, they've preconditioned us to say the why is there. The why is we want to be attractive. We want to be skinny. Like that's just the culture that we're at. So they've preconditioned the why for us. And then that's led us to always wanting to know the how to lose weight, how to be skinny, how to diet a certain way, how to lose the weight, finally. But we need to know our own why. So not going with the social, like what has been conditioned for our why, we need to understand what is our own why. So when you find yourself being like, okay, how do I lose weight? Ask yourself a better question that starts with why first. Okay, why do I want to lose weight? How do I get skinny? Why do you want to get skinny? And then answer that. And please, if anything, please answer that. And then ask yourself the how again. Okay, how do I lose weight? Why do I want to lose weight? Oh, I want to show up and be an energetic mama. I want to be the best. I want to be in the best shape so I feel confident. So why do I want to lose weight? I want to feel confident. So then let that guide your how. Okay, how do I be confident and lose the weight and feel good about my body? Do you see the difference between, like, there's so much, this is very broad, starting off with how do I lose weight? But then you ask yourself, okay, why do I want to lose weight? And then you can guide it of, this is the way I want to lose weight, or this is my why for losing weight. So that's why the why is so important. And it's just creating motivation, sparking motivation. It's just asking better questions, being in tune with what we really want, and then guiding our actions to be in alignment with all of that. So really, the takeaway from here is understand, okay, to spark motivation, So come January, you're going to feel really motivated. To keep that, you need to be consistent in looking at your ambitions every single day. So whatever that looks like for you, is that starting off your day looking at your goals? Is it creating anchors throughout your day that remind you and get you out of your old behaviors and your old habits? Like whatever works best for you. And then it's creating expectancy of, okay, I expect myself to get to this point. So what kind of questions do I need to ask myself to get myself out of my old behaviors, my own limited beliefs, and my own kind of what I felt like it was normal? How do I ask myself better questions to get myself to expect the outcome and to always be conscious of my ambitions and what I want? And another point is a lot of motivation, it falters when we're fatigued. And so that's why I hound in on, like, regardless of what you want in life, you need to make sure your health and wellness is number one. Because if you don't fill up your cup, if you're not highly energized every single day, no matter what your motivation is, whether that's for your family or for your personal work or your personal finances, those things, you're going to get fatigued. And so any personal development guru out there will say, your health and wellness, you need to own that, and you need to understand what works best for you. So if anything, find your motivation and put that towards being the best version of you. And utilize these tools and tactics not only for your career, for your personal goals, for your financial goals, for your spiritual goals, anything. Figure out your health and wellness too and align that together. So guys, go all in, figure out your motivation, learn how to spark and sustain your motivation with these simple tactics. And I want you to really go all in and be the best version that you possibly can be.